Solar energy is an alternative energy source that involves harnessing the radiant light energy emitted by the sun and converting it into electrical current. Since the middle of the 20th century, the ability to harness and utilize solar energy has greatly increased, making it possible for homes and businesses to make use of the renewable energy source rather than rely on more conventional means of generating power. Research into the applications of solar energy continues alongside the development of more cost-effective ways to capture and store the energy for future use. A local company who calls themselves the Solarviz team strives to be the leading solar photovoltaics PV service provider in Malaysia through close and wholesome understanding of its clients' needs. These needs are included in the core values of Solarviz's vision, namely providing their wide base of clientele with innovative financing, with emphasis on professional services and their clients' much-deserved return on their green investment. Founded in 2012, Solarviz is a registered one-stop solar PV service provider with official certification from the Institute of Sustainable Power ISPQ on grid-connected solar photovoltaics SPV system. Capital Talk got the chance to sit down with the managing director and founder of Solarviz to get a better understanding of the prevalence and benefits of solar photovoltaic systems to the environment. Hello, welcome to the Capital Talk. Today we will be talking about an environment-related topic that will give us a chance to explore our parts in the effort to preserve the environment, albeit small but still in a very significant means. Now, topic of the day, Solarviz and the benefits of solar photovoltaics PV system to the environment. And with us is Kelvin Heng, the Managing Director of Solarviz, to join us for this edition of the Capital Talk. Welcome, Kelvin, to the Capital.
Thank you for having
me here.
It's
definitely nice to have you here with us today. Now, Kelvin Heng here holds a master's degree in urban environmental engineering, a graduate of the University of Tokyo. Heng has 15 years of experience in the residential and commercial property investment under his belt to date. So, without further ado, Kelvin, kindly share with the Capital about a little background of Solarviz and how it got started.
Well, as a property investor, I've always been looking for ways to increase my property yield. And solar PV system come nicely to fit into my property portfolio. It is also something that is close to me because of my environmental engineering background. And since a kid, I've always been very keen on transforming something that is old, something that is broken into something which is useful. So this is very similar to solar PV system. It actually transforms something that is freely available and something that we take for granted, which is the sunlight, into something that is very valuable, which is the electricity. I see a solar PV system as an investment that will generate a recurring passive income, adding value to people's life financially as well as the environment. So because of that, I've grown fond about solar PV and started Solarviz.
All right, now how do solar PV systems work?
Well, a solar PV system consists of numbers of solar panels which is made of semiconductors. And when the sunlight hits this semiconductor material, then a direct current, direct electrical current is generated. This current is being directed to an inverter which converts the direct current into alternative current. For online grid system, the current is then being fed directly into the national utility grid, which is Tenaga Nasional in most of the cases.
Right, now I see. Now, the thing is, solar income is definitely a term that enjoys much mention in your company's portfolio. Now, what does this solar income come to mean?
Well, this is a term that is very specific to the feed-in tariff program that the government is undertaking now. The feed-in tariff program, or the FIT, basically enable anybody with the correct resource to generate and sell electricity using renewable sources. Renewable sources include biogas, biomass, hydroelectric, and certainly solar photovoltaics, which is the solar PV that we are talking about.
Yeah, SPV.
That's right. And the solar income that I'm referring to is the income that one can receive by selling electricity generated using sunlight through the use of a solar PV system.
I see. Now, I actually had a look at the briefings of Solarviz.com. It says here the bigger the roof it is, the bigger the income that can be generated by the roof. Now, how does the size of the roof ascertain how much income it would generate for your investment?
Well, the amount of electricity that can be generated and sold is depends on basically the amount of sunlight that can be captured by the individual, and that depends on the number of panels that is installed, which depends, of course, on the size of the roof or the land that the person owns. So the bigger the size of the roof or the land, the more electricity can be generated, and thus the income increase. Typically, for terrace house, the solar income can be around 500 ringgit Malaysia per month.
500 ringgit Malaysia.
That is right, per month.
Per month.
And it can go up to about 1,500 for a semi-detached or detached houses. For a factories with a built-up area of around 10,000 square feet, it will be ranging around 10,000 ringgit per month of income.
10,000 ringgit per month of income. All right, now, thank you so much, Mr. Kelvin Heng. And time is up for the first episode of this topic for the Capital Talk. And for more information, you can always log on to www.solarviz.com.my. Now, stay tuned for the second episode tomorrow for more on Solarviz and the benefits of solar photovoltaics PV system to the environment. Only on the Capital, I'm Sherlyn Pang, and this is Kelvin Heng from Solarviz. Thank you for watching.
Careers, movie stars, character, daring, aspiring executives. Get to know them all and be inspired on business models. Only on Capital TV.
Twists and turns, poor decisions and failures, objections, rejections, you name it. Now this is their story. Influential business people at your doorstep. Get up close and personal with business figures. Iconic individuals making the front page. Persona presents a new season of Beyond and Extraordinary only on Capital TV.
on Capital Talk today. Founded in 2012, Solarviz is a one-stop solar PV service provider with official certification from the Institute of Sustainable Power (ISPQ) on grid-connected solar photovoltaics (SPV) system. Managing Director of Solarviz, Kelvin Heng, who holds a master's degree in urban environmental engineering, speaks with the Capital Talk team on Solarviz and the benefits of solar photovoltaics PV system to the environment. A graduate of the University of Tokyo, Heng has 15 years of experience in the residential and commercial property investment under his belt to date. Hello, welcome to the second episode of Capital Talk, and thank you for staying with us on the second episode of Solarviz and the benefits of solar photovoltaics PV system to the environment. This is a resumption of the first episode of yesterday's, where Capital Talk got to speak with Kelvin Heng, the Managing Director of Solarviz Private Limited. Welcome, Kelvin, to the Capital. It's definitely nice to have you here with us.
Thank you once more.
All right, now, we'll resume to yesterday's topic now. Is this applicable to mainly landed properties? What about high-rising residences?
Well, I would like to say that the solar PV installation under the FIT program is applicable to all types of property as long as they have a strong roof. But for condominiums or apartment buildings, it will be easier if it is owned by a single user or a joint management body. But for a single unit owner of a condominium who would like to install solar PV under the FIT program, I would say that it's kind of complicated because the applicants of the FIT need to provide proof of ownership or at least a leasing documents of the roof of the building.
Now, are there any possible risks to or downsides that installing the solar energy will pose to the users?
Well, solar PV can be profitable, but of course, when making the decision whether to install a PV system on your property, a lot of factors need to be taken into consideration. One of them is safety, and also we need to look at the initial capital outlay and also the subsequent maintenance efforts that need to be put in. So sometimes it is not advisable for a solar PV system to be installed after considering all these factors. The other risk factor that I see is the uncertainty about the date when we will reach grid parity.
The uncertainty of the date?
When we will reach grid parity.
Grid parity, okay.
Yeah. This is the date when the cost of solar electricity is the same as the cost of electricity generated from conventional fuels.
Okay.
So when that date arrives, then the FIT rate no longer applies, and then the solar electricity will be sold at the market rate at that time.
I see, I see. Now, what is the approach that Solarviz has adopted in order to persuade people to listen to your proposition and to get them to see the rational side behind the business that you are doing? And do share with us the organization's marketing strategy.
Well, a solar PV investment is very attractive to business owners who are looking for ways to reduce their taxable income, because the entire cost of the solar PV system installation is entitled for a double tax deduction. This effectively means that the cost of installation is being reduced by about 40 to 50%. So why throw away like a hard-earned business profit as in the form of tax when you can actually reclaim this supposedly lost profit and invest them in a solar PV system which will generate you even more income.
So that's the unique selling point of having a solar PV system installed into your business.
That is correct. Yeah, for a business owner with a Sdn Bhd company. Depending on your circumstances as well, solar PV can be a good complement to property investment, whether it's the house that a person is staying in, or the office, factories, farm, or even vacant land. So now, by all means, always try to buy yourself a property which gives positive cash flow, as well as potential for capital appreciation. But add a solar PV system to it. By doing so, you can actually increase the yield of your property investment significantly, way beyond what a conventional property investment can offer. Secondly, if you already own a vacant land, for example, or a piece of property that you think will have great capital appreciation, Then, while waiting for the capital appreciation to set in, you can also have a solar PV system installed to give you at least some cash flow. The other benefit of a solar PV system is what I say by weather-proofing your property investment. Well, property markets go up in cycles and they go down as well during the bad time. So if you're unlucky, you might not be able to secure a tenant during the property market downturn for a certain period of time. But if you have a solar PV system installed, then at least you will have some fixed income coming in month after month from the PV system. Yes.
So that is where the winning side of this solar PV is.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a win-win situation for both the government and also to the business owners.
That is correct. That is the whole point of the incentive program. So in Solarviz, we want to bring maximum value to our client, and we actually set profit target and put ourselves in our client's shoes, and from there we work backward to see how can we make this happen for our client. Our financing and investment proposition is different from what is currently available in the market, and certainly bring great value to our investors.
Solar energy is an alternative energy source